Yeah, let's go.
Making finance fun. Sean Millington here, investment advisor, covering things off. Now, this idea has been introduced over the past couple months. I was just reading up on it this weekend. The notion of Bitcoin. Now, if somebody's watching this and hasn't even heard about it, break this down. What is Bitcoin?
Well, in the simplest way to say it, Riaz, is Bitcoin is digital currency. So it's basically a private, secure, decentralized electronic currency. So the idea is that we have cash, you have your $20 bill, your $10 bill, etc. Well, it's exactly the same sort of a thing. You're supposed to be able to take your Bitcoins and go and use them to purchase stuff online, purchase stuff in the real world, etc. So the simplest way of looking at it, it's cash.
Now, what kind of presence does Bitcoin have on the international scale? Who's using it? Is it sanctioned? I mean, it's a new thing, so information is the key right now.
Information is the key, ironically, that you would use those words, because it really is about cryptography, it's about electronic security. It's, who's using it. It's really kind of a libertarian type of a thing. People who are kind of not really having a lot of faith in the government, not having a lot of faith in the public financial institutions, etc., and they feel that they want to take back control of their cash, frankly. And so that's why we're seeing such a big growth in Bitcoin awareness and in Bitcoin use, because right now we've seen a lot of situations where people have reasons to distrust those particular institutions, and Bitcoin gives them a means to kind of rebel against that.
So it's kind of a new form of bartering system, would you say?
Yeah. Bitcoin is a means of exchange. It's nothing more, nothing less. Yes, you can invest with it. Yes, you can speculate with Bitcoin. But at the root of it, there was a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, and he's the guy who wrote the original research paper, which kind of got Bitcoin going in the first place. And his idea or we don't know who it is actually. That's just a pseudonym that is being used for the original person or group of people who started this. Mm-hmm. The idea being that if I want to buy something, I should be able to give you some cash, and I shouldn't have to go through a centralized agency. I shouldn't have to go through a bank. I should be able to send you some money. You should be able to send me my goods back, and that's the end of it. And that's the idea behind Bitcoin, is that I can send money to Australia, they can send money to me, mm-hmm. and nobody else has anything to say about it. The kind of the central conceit of Bitcoin is that it's anonymous. So just like cash, ownership is 100% of the deal. If I have a $10 bill, it's mine. Nobody can say that it belongs to anybody else other than me. And with your Bitcoins, it's exactly the same kind of an idea. Once you have your Bitcoin in your digital Bitcoin wallet, those are your Bitcoins, and when you send them out, they're gone. You can't get whoever got them on the other side, they're theirs now, and you can't get them back. There's no party to have recourse to. It's cash. Once you spent it, that's the end of the deal. And that's what so many people love about Bitcoin, because it gives you that freedom to do what you want with it.
But what about the idea of risk? I mean, this sounds ideal, and as someone that monitors my investments, I want to make sure, they're safe, take a bit of risk, but knowing this is not a government-backed security, it is relatively new. If somebody's hearing about this, what should they really be aware of? Because, I like the idea of taking control of your own situation and saying, the institutions are charging us, but there's got to be a great deal of risk associated with this.
There is definitely, from an investment standpoint, there's a massive amount of risk associated with this. Just let me give you some idea of the volatility that's been involved here. But I think it was about April 11th, the price of Bitcoin spiked to $266 in US terms. Mm. Now that was up from, and it closed the day at 170. So it started at 230, up to 266, and closes at 170. 1 day's worth
of a lot of stress.
That's a lot of stress. But from the flip side of that equation, it was at 30, in the 30s or so earlier in the year, let's say February, you're sitting on a $30 investment, it just spiked to 266. So that's what's the appealing thing about Bitcoin to so many people, is that, oh wow, there's the potential. It's the wild, wild west. You can make tons of money, but you can also lose tons of money, and that's the definition of risk. I certainly wouldn't encourage anybody to get into this from an investment standpoint, mm-hmm. but it is an interesting intellectual exercise. I wouldn't mind having a couple of Bitcoins myself, just to kind of play around with it and see what happens, but I certainly wouldn't be putting all of your subscriptions substantial net wealth into it.
Smart man. If people want to find out more about this whole concept of Bitcoin and the future of it, where's the best place to go?
Well, you can go to bitcoin.org. That, you know, there's a lot of wikis on the web. You know, if you type in Bitcoin into a Google search right now, all you're going to get is just a big list of stuff. So anywhere you want to go out there right now, there's a lot of good information.
Something to watch out for, something new to learn about. Russ Lacate, how's your investment portfolio doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, Riaz, you give me a little bit of your money and I'll put it into Bitcoin, okay? We'll see how that goes.